All right, how are we doing today? Good? Everyone has a voice sticker?
Yeah.
Okay. The voice sticker, I'm here completely free. I don't get paid for my time. I gave up my career to do this, to reach out to kids. I believe it's the right thing to do. And we'll talk a little bit more about that when I share my stories with you. But the stickers were donated by a company called Junior Drake because they believe in you, just like I believe in you. And that's why I'm here. So what I'd really like is just a small thank you to Junior Drake. If I can get y'all to say, I believe in you, Junior Drake, on the count of 3, I'd really appreciate it. Is that cool? Okay, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. I believe in you, Junior Drake. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to grab a towel because I get heated.
I'm going to open the door to get some cross ventilation.
It's just the sound, that's what we
Let's try and see how loud it is. Thanks, David. That's a book I wrote. It was always my dream to be a writer, you know, and a lot of people didn't think I was going to do it. Well, proved them wrong. How I'd like to start is the I believe in you idea I learned from my mom, okay? My mom came from Mexico. She came out here and she was in pursuit of a better life. You know, she was abused in Mexico, okay? My sisters were witnessing that. Okay, and I'm going to tell you some intense things I didn't tell the younger kids yesterday because I think you can take and you're ready for this, okay? So my mom came over and you know, she found the courage to rise up out of that bad situation, you know what I mean? And she got out of it because she has this light inside of her. You know, my mom has this faith, and this faith is what I believe in you is all about. So she came out here, she fell in love with my dad, you know, she met him, and everything was great for a little while, but then my dad died when I was born. Soon after I was born, he had a stroke, you know. So things got really, really tough. It was just me, my 3 sisters, and my mom. We didn't have much money at all, you know, but we had each other's love, and that was enough, you know. I was different. I was Mexican, Black, French, Irish. So in school, a lot of kids made fun of me, you know, because I didn't fit in any groups. I wasn't quite all Black. I wasn't quite all Mexican. I wasn't quite all white, you know, so they kind of made fun of me. You know, that kind of hurt growing up. But my mom always said, I believe in you, Amigo, don't you worry. You're someone special. You know, it doesn't matter what they tell you, what they say you're different. You know, you have something, you have this light inside of you. When I was 17, I went to Mexico with my mom and my sisters because we got news that my aunt went missing. And we're thinking the worst, you know. We know we could find her, so we went out there to see what was going on. And it turned out that they found her dead. She was murdered. And she left her 4 children behind, you know. And it was a really, really sad time. I was driving down the road with a couple of her kids. One was her son Juan, who was 14. And we're going down the road of Mexico. And we turn around the corner, my 3 cousins in the back. They go, oh, look, there's that new fancy American restaurant that just opened up. And I turned around, and I saw the big M. It was McDonald's. You know, these kids were like 14 and 9, and they'd never eaten McDonald's because they were that poor. You know what I mean? They never had McDonald's out there. And I'm like, man, you guys never eaten McDonald's? Well, I had a job at the time, you know, I was about 17, 18. I'm like, yeah, I got some money on me. Let's go eat McDonald's, right? So we turned the car around, we got in line for like an hour. We paid 5 times for the same burger and fries you get here, man. It was crazy. We got our food and we're sitting down, and there's those kids eating McDonald's for the very first time. The very first time. Okay? Have a seat, be quiet. For the very first time, they're eating McDonald's. Because they're that poor. Okay? And I'm looking at them, trying to remember the first time I ate McDonald's. Because I couldn't. Because I took it for granted. Because I always had McDonald's, right? Just like we have here, all the time. My 14-year-old cousin, who just lost his mother, turns to me and says, Primo, so you're going to go to college soon? Are you going to go to college? Well, yeah, I'm going to go to college. He goes, you're going to play football? You're going to let you play football at your school? Yeah, I got a scholarship. I'm going to go play football. He looks at me and he goes, Primo, Your life is like a dream to me. I wish I had your life. You see, my mom just died, so now I gotta go learn a trade, you know, maybe become a mechanic so I can help raise money for my family. You know what I mean? And I'm looking at him, I was like 17, 18 at the time. And at that moment, I felt so small because I didn't realize what I had. You know what I mean? And that night, I had all this anger and pain, you know, because they murdered my aunt. They took her away from them. You know? And I cried all night, and I was just so mad. The next morning, my mom knew, you know, I was angry, and something happened to me, and she's just like, what's wrong? And I told her, I just feel all this anger, Mom. You know, I feel like I need to do something. And she goes, no. She goes, Neil, take the darkness and bring the light to the darkness. You have a light. Don't let the darkness overtake you. Is what she told me. You have a light. And bring that light to the darkness. So I started to write. I started writing about all my feelings and emotions, you know what I mean? And that's why, you know, I have the book. I wrote all these stories about what was going on, how I was feeling. You know, I definitely advise that. If you've got feelings inside of you, write them down. Put them on paper. It does something. Put them out there. You know, just and then you let them go. So, we came back to the States. Just months later, I'm at a high school party, right? You know, I'm captain of the football team. I'm wearing my letterman jacket. I'm hanging out at a party with all my friends. And there was a bunch of kids at that party. I was at the front of the house with my friends. We were just kicking and talking about whatever you talk about. You know, girls' school, whatever. And I heard a big smash, man. I turned around. I'm like, damn, what's that? And I see a kid fall to the ground in the driveway. You know, it was a black kid. And all of a sudden, 10, 12 Mexican kids jumped around and we started kicking him, beating on him. And I'm like standing there going like, damn. Me and my friends are like, what the heck? What's going on? It was some Mexican gang picking on some black kid. That's it, right? Another day in LA. And I'm like, in 2-3 seconds, I thought to myself, what would my mom do? What would my aunt do, you know? What would my cousin do? You know? What did I learn from all of them? You know, because when I knew what I was looking at, even though it wasn't about me, I didn't want to get involved. I had to get involved. You see what I'm saying? Because that kid on the floor was me. He was my people. He was my family. So I knew what I was witnessing was wrong. So what I did in a matter of seconds is I ran to that pile as they were beating on him, and I pushed one kid out of the way, and I'm wearing my jacket, and I pick him up. I pick him up like a ball, thinking, okay, just carry him away, Joe, keep him away, and maybe you slow down the beating, right? And I'm carrying him into the street, and they're coming around me, and they're still hitting on him. As I'm carrying him, so I can feel them beating on him as I'm carrying him, and I lose my balance and I fall. And I turned to the biggest kid that was hitting him, and I grabbed him, and I said, he's had enough, he's done. You know? But then I saw that rage inside of him, that anger, you know, that I knew well from Mexico. And I was like, man, I'm not reaching that kid. So I let him go and I pushed him away. And we turned back and I picked that kid up again. Took him to the street and the car came at that same time. Door came open. I put him in the car, closed the door, and he drove off. I turned around. There's 10, 12 pissed off Mexican kids, right? And they're standing there and they're looking at me. And at that moment, and this is so important for you to understand. At that moment, I was not afraid. I was looking at every one of their faces, and I knew what I was doing was right. And I was not afraid of them, because I knew that that was the right thing to do, you know? And I would have done it for them. And at that moment, they're standing there going, man, this guy's not afraid. And I think at that moment, they actually respected me because I stood up for what was right. You know, maybe deep down inside they knew they were wrong. And I just nodded each one of them. They nodded at me. They said, okay, cool, he's cool, let's go. They took off. So I went back to the house. And what's going on at the house, right? 60, 70 people at a party. How many people went out to the street to help one kid? Just one. Just one. That's okay. Just one. You know what I mean? I'm sitting down there with my jacket. My buddy comes up to me and goes, damn, Joe. He's like, you're crazy? They would have killed you. And he goes, Joe, man, look at your jacket. I mean, I was covered in blood. And I'm like, this is messed up, man. It's kind of messed up. kind of world we live in, you know? Because we're controlled by fear. You know? Don't be afraid. Don't have fear. It happens. Don't be afraid. So a little later, when I make my way to school, I got to go to a private business school because I played football. I was not a good student. I was a C average student. Okay? And this is very, very important for you to understand as well. So I think a lot of you can relate to this. I didn't work hard in school. I was good at football. You know, so I got by on football. So they let me go to this school. The only trick was I could only stay at this school because it was $22,000 a year to go there. So I'm like, I didn't have any money. The only way we got the money is by scholarship funding and leadership funding. But I had to keep a 3.0 grade point average to stay in school. And I'd never been a B student. I'd always been a C student, right? So after one semester, what were my grades? C's. C's. So I was in trouble after one semester, you know? So I'm like, man, what am I going to do? So I thought, well, maybe I'll talk to the teacher. So I made an appointment with the professor of psychology named Dr. Harvey. I said, Dr. Harvey, I need to work this out, you know? I can't fail now. I can't let my mom, my sisters, my cousins, I can't let them down now, right? So she's like, okay, let's look at your classes, Joe. We'll figure this out. 5 academic classes and football. And she goes, okay, Joe, you've got 5 academic classes. This is easy. If you want to try for an A in each one of those classes, you need to study 4 hours a day per class. And I'm like, I wasn't taking calculus or anything. I'm like, that's 20 hours a day, Dr. Harvey. Well, there's only 24 hours in a day. That only leaves 4 hours for football, you know, my girlfriend, you know, eating, sleeping. What? Like, what's up with that? And she looked at me, she put her notebook down, and she goes, Joe, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want this education, Joe? Because you know what, Joe? It was a wealthy school, right? All those kids had money. She goes, you're the poor kid, Joe. Everybody here knows that you got the help. You got, you know, you got a little help to get into school. You know? All these kids are driving Porsches and Mercedes. They know you're probably not going to make it. So what are you going to do? At that moment, man, she just woke something inside of me. You know what I mean? She sparked a fire, a desire. I was like a challenge. I'm like, what do you mean I'm going to do? I'm going to go in that street and pick that kid up. I'm going to represent my cousin, my aunt, my mom, my sisters. I'm not going to fail. There's no way that I am going to fail. And when I make that commitment in my mind, that I will not fail, that's the secret to success, man. That's what I'm telling you. Once you commit to yourself, you look in the mirror and you say, I believe in you. You know what? You're not going to fail. It doesn't matter how many times they knock you down, how many people they beat up in the street. You're going to keep getting up, picking people up. You know, I started studying in the night, during the day, on the weekend. People were partying. I was studying. If I didn't know information in the class, I found all the smart kids, and I became friends with them. I'm like, hey man, teach me, let me see what you got. Within time, I not only got that 3.0 I needed, I was dean's listed for 7 semesters in that school. I was the top of my classes for the rest of my career there. I was one of the best. I became one of the best. And I was average because I believed. I got hungry. At the end of my career there, they gave me a special award for intellectual enthusiasm, because I was a kid in every class going, what about this? What about that? What about this theory? What can we do over here? You know, I was always pushing the envelope. I was trying to get better and better. They're like, man, this kid is hungry. I'm like, yeah, I was hungry. And that was the secret. That was the secret of doing well in school and doing some big things and representing who I was. And each one of you has that inside of you. You just don't know it yet. You just haven't woken up yet. You know what I mean? And I know you have a lot of doubt. I know you have a lot of fear. I know you're dealing with a lot of stuff in life. And there's going to be more. But you can always overcome it. You can always have more in life. You have to just believe in yourself. And believe in other people. You know, and give back. Do things for free. You know? Inspire other people. Live a wonderful life. And that's the key to success. You know what I mean? That's the key to doing wonderful, wonderful things in life. I want to thank you for your time. Okay? I really, really appreciate you guys. And I do believe you have it inside of you to do something special. Even if I only reached one of you today, that's all that mattered. But I think I reached more than one. You know? I'd like one more thank you to Junior Drake for these stickers, if we can do that. I believe in you, Junior Drake. On the count of 3, and then I'm going to say I believe in you. 1, 2, 3.
I believe in you, Junior Drake.
And I believe in you. Okay? All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
My ankle.
Take care. Thank you. Enjoy the sticker. Thank you.
We looking at you.
Come on. Okay. Take care.
Thank you for the stickers. I appreciate it.
No worries.
He said,